What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Rick Scale RC. I'd like to first thank all the new subscribers for subscribing. It's really cool to see, and I really do appreciate it. So thanks for that. And the comments I've gotten have been great too. So thanks for that. You know, none of my buddies are in RC, so it's cool to be able to communicate with you guys. Like, you know, if you see me doing things that you got a better way of doing, or a trick for, or a tip for, please put it in the comments. Let me know, because a lot of this stuff I'm doing for my my first time, so I'm learning as I go. So if you see me doing something that can be done a better way, be cool about it. But by all means, please put it down there. I'd like to talk to you guys, so that's cool too. But yeah, so here's the hot rod. I've made some progress, not much. I did get the front end done, and I'm really happy with it. I think it came out great. At first I made some straight radius arms just to, connect it to the frame, but obviously with the straight ones and the angle, the front end was, kicked out way forward at the top. So I made another set, and this set has like a drop built into them to keep the radius arm level, and then the front end straight up and down. This still has a little bit of a lean to it, but I think I'll be able to fix it with adjustments. But what I ended up doing was, I got a piece of wood, I drew out the front end on a piece of wood, and wherever there was going to be a bend, I would drill a hole on the inside of the bend, so that I could put a wooden dowel in there. And basically what I did is I would heat it up, lay it down on this piece of wood, bend it around, and just to match my drawing, bend it around with a pair of pliers, take it off, heat it up a little bit farther, put it back down, bend it back around. It worked really good for me. I think it looks great. It looks just like an old school drop axle. The drop's a little extreme on it, but I had to do what I had to do to, make room for a leaf spring and shocks, and I also had, I had to mount the radius arms to it. The spindles were kind of big, so I think it looks proportionate. I'm really happy with it. I think it came out awesome. The whole front end is all made out of solid 1/4-inch rod, like round solid rod. And then for the radius arms, I used 3/16. And once I explain a little bit about the rear, I'm going to pop you guys out of the vise and give you a zoom around so you can see what I did. But basically for the radius arms, I kind of I cut 4 pieces equal length, and about 1 inch from the end I bent them a little bit and put a little bit of an angle on them, and then I flipped them over and reversed them and kind of made like a angled box and just welded them together at either end, and then I drilled and tapped either end so that I could connect the one end to the radius arm, and the other end got a a rod end, and that's connected to the frame, and I kind of hid that underneath the body so you almost can't even see it. It kind of worked out good. And then for the back is just kind of like a mock-up kind of thing I came up with just to start figuring things out. I also had to get these radius arms done, I needed the car sitting at ride height, so I had to attack the rear kind of prematurely. Well, I wouldn't say prematurely, but earlier that it wasn't planned. And then when I realized what was going on with the front end and what I had to do to correct it, I figured, alright, now's a better time than any. I guess we're going to chop the back of that frame off. So I just, it's actually, it might even be a little long right now. It depends on how I'm going to build off of it. I really, really, really would like to C-notch it like you would on a real build. I just don't know how it's going to work out with space, material, because I also have to get a shock in there, and if I C-notch that with like some kind of frame or something like that through here, that's kind of where I need that to put my shock. So actually what I'm thinking about doing is making some kind of like a tube chassis that's just going to come off of the back here, come up, run along the back, and then back down, and then maybe like a bar across the back. And it'll all be welded to the back of the frame, because I am going to build a bed for it, so I need something to support that bed. So I definitely need something back there. I'm just thinking if I do something like a little kind of back half it with a tube chassis, that'll leave me more room to get a shock in there, rather than, you know, some kind of a tubing or frame or whatever I come up with. Because that's the other thing, you know, it's hard you can't find steel C-channel. That's another reason why I picked up that spare frame, but for a couple of reasons I opted not to use that. Main one being that it's aluminum, so I can't weld that. These are actually just some lift kit tabs that I had made for my SCX-10 a long time ago, and they were just sitting in a drawer. So I kind of used them to just mount to the frame. You know, there's just one screw in there, and I just kind of mocked up this this 4-link. It was actually a little bit more work than I was thinking. You don't just mount up 4 links and expect that thing to work. It doesn't work like that. Luckily, you know, I have a Traxxas Slash also, and I happen to be looking at the front of that, and I'm like, man, all the links on the front of that thing would make a good 4-link setup for the rear of the hot rod. So luckily, the hobby shop I go to, he had them. They were like $7 a set, so I got both sets. It was like, I thought it was a good deal. Came with rod ends. They're adjustable, you know, turnbuckle style. So I put them in, and that actually worked out really well, because it definitely needed some adjustments, definitely needed some tweaking. But right now I got it traveling really nice, really smooth. It doesn't bind. My pinion angle is sweet. I'm very happy with it. So I think, you know, we're just going to keep everything the way it is, and then build something more permanent around it that all that can mount to. And then we'll take those tabs out of there, or those, you know, those little lift kit things I made. And then for the shocks, I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the back yet. I'm looking around for some internal spring shocks. I have the axial coilovers. I was also playing around with an idea of maybe possibly doing something without the spring, and maybe putting a spring on the inside and losing this rubber grommet, you know, the little bump stop. But we'll see. But that's where we're at with it. It's awesome. I'm real happy with it. It's coming out good. Like I said, I really want to get the flathead scale motor in there, because I want to know where it's going to sit. Because once that leaf spring gets here, you know, that's going to be mounted up in here somewhere, and I just want to know where that motor is going to sit. It would just be nice to have it. So I got to work on getting that. And then, I mean, for now, I'm probably just going to run that axial transmission in there with the motor inside the cab. And when I get some extra dough in the wallet, maybe we'll upgrade it to a scale transmission and then move the motor inside of the flathead, mounted to the scale tranny, and do it that way. And then we could build an interior for it. But for right now, man, them things are expensive. So I got a lot of money tied up in this right now. So I think we're just going to keep building with what we got and keep saving. And we'll see what happens. I got all the running gear for it. I'm pretty sure I got shocks laying around here for it. So once that leaf spring gets here and we get that front end mounted, and all the little odds and ends worked out, get some steering going on, get the back, you know, and then we're going to, oh, and the styrene bed, like I said, I definitely want to build a styrene bed for it, so no doubt it's absolutely got to have some kind of a frame structure, tube chassis, C-notch, something's got to go back there to hold the bed, so we'll definitely be doing something back there. But that's about all. I'm going to quit babbling. I'm going to take the camera out of the vise and just kind of zoom you guys up, let you guys see the front end, and then we'll probably call this one short for today. You know, just kind of an update, let you know what I've been doing. If you want to see more of the welding and more of the building process, definitely let me know in the comments. Right now I'm just you know, I'm just figuring it out as I go. If I record it, it's going to be you know, I've never been much of a camera guy, so I'm learning the camera as I go too. So if you guys want to see it, I'll do my best to get it on camera, and then you know, I don't know, we can either speed it up or I'll just try to show you the main points of what I'm doing. But we'll figure it out. But let me know what you guys, you know, let me know if you guys want to see it. Alright, man, I'm going to zoom it in, let you guys check it out. I got double A's underneath it. That's keeping my rod height. I should come up with something better, but they've been working. Oh, also, yeah, I had to clearance the back of the cab for the drive shaft. Another thing I did too, that I knew I was going to run into the problem. Yeah, see, there's not even any nuts on anything. I got some BS spacers in there. It's all just kind of thrown together. But that is how it's going to, you know, it is working. It's just not bolted. Nothing's permanent yet. But yeah, I knew I was going to run into the problem with the drive shaft being too long, because I knew the rear axle was going to be pushed back a little bit farther than what it normally is in an SCX10. And then I also moved the transmission and crossmember up a ½ an inch in the last video I posted. So I knew the drive shaft had a very good possibility of coming up short. So what I did was I took both of the female ends from, you know, because I had two drive shafts from the four-wheel drive SCX10. I took the two female ends and then I cut one of the male ends off and just shoved it in the middle. And I don't know if I have to worry about it moving or not. You know, that could be something too. You guys, let me know what you guys think. It's in there pretty good. I was thinking about maybe just slipping some super glue in one end of it just to make sure, you know, it can't fall out. But I tried to get it to come out, and it doesn't seem to be able to. Even all the way inside the one, it still seems to be sticking out enough to stay into the other one. So I don't think I should have any issues with it. But on to the front. You ready? I know it's not showing very well on camera, but that it is about a 1/4 inch off the ground. For the amount of driving it's going to get, I think that'll be fine. I doubt I'll be taking this off-road once it's done. But it will handle it. And then there is a, I can't get you low enough to see, but there's the rod end. The radius arms came out great. They're identical to one another. Again, I made a little fixture to hold them, so each side came out, you know, identical, and there was no warping, twisting, any kind of issues like that through the heating and cooling process while welding it. There it is, guys. That's what I got right now. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Take care.